Good morning everybody, welcome back to the channel. Determined to do this in one take today and in 30 minutes. Reason being, it took forever to edit last week, and it took even longer to actually upload to YouTube. I don't think you actually get to see it. It's for fuck's sake. Good morning everybody, welcome back to the channel. Determined to do this in one take today and in under 30 minutes. I'll tell you for why. It took forever to edit it last week, and it took even longer to upload it to YouTube. I think it was about 45 minutes, the length of the video, and it seemed to take forever. I don't think I managed to get it onto Facebook until sort of mid-afternoon, so determined not to let that happen this week. I'll start with a few comments on last week's video because I've got loads to get through this week. Guy, great vid mate, even though you didn't address my comments on your Saturday review vid, you absolute git. Don't hold back, mate. Right, I'll address those points now. Your comments on the Saturday review vid, great stuff, mate, much appreciate that. Rocky, we told you so. I know you did. Also, you didn't actually tell us which your favourite one is. It has to be the original, obviously. If I had to pick another one, I would probably say Rocky 5. Reason being, pretty much everybody hated it, didn't like it. I went into it expecting to pretty much feel the same, and I was very pleasantly surprised. I thought it was a great movie. So my second favourite would have to be Rocky 5. 12 Monkeys, I think you'll love it. I'm looking forward to getting into that one. I want to watch more of Terry Gilliam's movies, mostly thanks to Steve Mack's review of The Fisher King, which I watched last night. And it sort of piqued my interest in Gilliam's movies. I love the work he did with the Pythons, with the animations and all that sort of thing, but I've not seen many of his films. Was Time Bandits one of his? I know it starred Michael Palin and perhaps John Cleese. I'll have to look into that one. Dance Craze, fantastic stuff. I haven't actually had the chance to watch it yet. I'm looking forward to watching it. I've been listening to podcasts about it this week. I didn't realise it was a completely unique type of concert movie. Reason being that most concert movies are the cameras are basically in the audience looking up at the stage. This was one of the first that ever had the camera on the stage, giving everybody sort of a band's view of the proceedings. So I'm really looking forward to watching it. They reckon it's absolutely amazing, and Kermode went to see it on an IMAX screen and he reckons it's absolutely stunning. Yeah, I will be taking a look at that one, mate. You said here, I was lucky enough to meet Neil Davis from The Selector and Horace Panter from The Specials in the late 90s when they had a band together. Both wonderful chaps and monstrous players. You lucky sod. Star Wars Vault, you lucky bastard. Defo want a video of that. I will do it, Guy, I promise you, as soon as I get a minute. Animal Attacks, where was the birds in there? Classic Hitchcock and possibly the first animal attack film. Yeah, absolutely right. I can't believe I completely forgot about Hitchcock's The Birds. I've been thinking on this all week, and I can't think offhand without going onto the internet of any other animal attack movies before The Birds. So yeah, it was the one that broke the mold. So I should have included that one. So yeah, that's a glaring oversight on my part. Keep these Saturday vids coming, matey. I will do that. Thanks for that, Guy, much appreciated. Jason, our Ginger Ninja, honestly, even I was a bit shocked at the intensity of the violence in Rambo 4, but after a bit I got over it and enjoyed it for the sheer spectacle of it. Yeah, I'm not sure spectacle is the word I would use to describe Rambo 4. Amazing movie. I can't really deny that it was really well done. It was just pretty horrible. As for Clint Eastwood, the Clint Eastwood question that I set last week, was it the Deadpool? Niet, sorry. I'll be putting the answer to that one on the group straight after I've done this, actually, to put you all out of your misery. Oh, and have you seen RoboCop? That's got some pretty graphic and violent scenes. Great vid as always. Cheers, Jason. Yes, I have seen RoboCop. When I first got my DVD player, I actually imported a copy of the unrated version of RoboCop. And it was pretty shocking, I have to say. Was it 1987? There were a few scenes in there that were pretty grim. The murder of Murphy, for one, was really nasty. The test that went wrong at the beginning, that was extended with a lot more violence in it. So yeah, it was pretty bad. That's a movie I wouldn't mind looking at out on 4K actually, to see what they've done with it. I mean, I don't know whether the version that's out now is just the unrated one anyway, but back then in '87 it was a big deal to be able to import a movie that was sort of American and had no rating at all, with everything complete and intact, because obviously when it came over here the BBFC got hold of it and trimmed loads of the violence out and some other stuff as well, I believe. So yeah, that's one I wouldn't mind taking a look at on 4K. That's a question for Chris, actually. I believe you got this on 4K, haven't you, RoboCop? What's it like, mate, quality-wise? I'd appreciate the heads up on that one. Scott, excellent video, Tony. Loved it, mate. Cheers, Scott. Looking forward to the new sections that you're going to be adding in your videos, mate. I am going to be adding them. I've already got one in mind, possibly two. The Q&A is sort of off and running. I'll be doing a couple of those a bit later on. Sounds like a great idea. Also, the Q&A idea is brilliant. Oh, thanks for that. I just mentioned that one. I'll be sure to ask a question soon. You sent me a couple of questions, so I'll probably try to answer those a bit later, actually. Steve Mack, on the subject of Swiss Family Robinson. I remember Swiss Family Robinson, also Belle and Sebastian, and the Singing Ringing Tree, which was dead creepy, not to mention Robinson Crusoe. I can hear the theme now, usually shown during the summer holidays. Thanks to Network, we now have these old TV shows on disc to enjoy. You're not kidding. I loved those old series. Summer holidays were magical to me. You'd got, like you said, those shows that you just mentioned. You got The Flashing Blade, you got White Horses, Why Don't You, Hergé's Adventures of Tintin. It was just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I would love to see White Horses again. I don't believe it's available on DVD. That's one maybe that Network could pick. I might drop them an email actually and see whether that's on their list of acquisitions. And also the original Hergé's Adventures of Tintin. The ones that you can buy now are the updated versions. They are not the versions that me and you will remember watching in the 70s. They're completely different. I believe you can get to the originals on YouTube, but I want to be able to watch them on my big screen TV. So I'm kind of hoping that the nostalgia buffs get a hold of it and decide to release the original versions of those. So thanks for that, Steve. The Flashing Blade. Do you remember the Flashing Blade? That was a cracking one. That groovy theme tune it had. How did it go? You got to fight for what you want, for all that you believe. Do you remember that one? Oh, I used to love that. I've got that on DVD. I might dig that out later actually and have a watch. So yeah, remember all those. Mark, just scrolling up here a bit. Let's see. I watched Creed 3 this morning. I thought it was terrible. Oh dear. In my opinion, it's the worst of all the Rocky and Creed franchise. You definitely tell that Sly had got nothing to do with this movie. This is what I was afraid of. I was listening to podcasts a couple of weeks ago, just ahead of the UK release of Creed 3, and then obviously realised that Stallone had nothing to do with this movie, and I thought, is it going to work? Because the guy's got a completely magic touch, hasn't he? He just makes things work. And you're obviously not happy with that, so I will be taking a look at Creed. I've got Creed 1 and 2. I've also managed to get hold of a copy of Creed 3. So I will be finishing off the Rocky franchise that I started a few months ago by watching those three. I'll be curious to know whether I agree with you on Creed 3, because all the reviews I've read so far are very, very positive. Everybody seems to love it. So you're the first one I've seen that didn't enjoy it at all, by the sounds of it. So I'll let you know on that. Love the Goonies trivia, by the way, about what was it? The ship. That was it. The director wanted to get a a perfect reaction from the kids when they first saw the ship. So they weren't allowed to see the ship in the cave until they actually shot it, and they had to cut the scene because, well, they hadn't cut the scene, but they had to cut a piece out of it because Josh Brolin, when he first set eyes on it, just shouted "fuck." So obviously that had to go, but I enjoyed that one. Chris, you were a man about town last week, so you didn't have time to do a Western vid. Let's see, you've been watching Giant, the James Dean movie on 4K, and you were very, very impressed with it. You didn't realise how long the film was. 4K transfer is absolutely incredible. Liz Taylor is absolutely stunning. She certainly was. James Dean, in his last outing, puts on a great performance. The only Dean movie I've seen, obviously, is Rebel Without a Cause. I do want to watch Giant, and now you've been shouting from the rooftops about the 4K release and how stunning this is. I think I will be investing in that one on the next payday, so I'll give you my opinion on that one when I've actually watched it. I haven't seen East of Eden either, and that's not available on 4K, and it'd be a real shame if that was the only one that was that was left out. I mean, he only did 3 films. Surely they can manage to do those 3, but we'll see. Rick, don't have a Scooby-Doo. Oh, I'm going moving up again. Don't have a Scooby-Doo about the what you're watching question. I'll give you the answer to that in a bit, mate. I'm glad you like Rambo 4. It's definitely one of the most violent action movies I've seen. Do you think? I challenged Tony to watch Peter Jackson's early movie Brain Dead. Seen it a few months ago for the first time. A guy at work bought a copy of it for me. And I watched it, and I have to say, I've never seen so much blood, guts and gore in one movie. It was as funny as hell, really, really good. Difficult to watch in some parts, but a really, really good film. It's one of those movies that I've seen, again, on the video shelf years ago, never got round to watching it, wished I had. That would definitely benefit from a 4K release. Can you imagine what that would look like? So yeah, I have seen Brain Dead. So if you've got any more you want to throw at me, feel free. I think the Clint Eastwood movie was American Sniper. Wrong. I'll put the answer to that one on later. Awesome video as always. Great to have a triple bill of Tony time this week. Stay safe. Cheers, Rick. Really appreciate that, mate. Gareth, had to check, but I have that Star Wars book too. It's a cracker, isn't it? It's a gorgeous book. It's just finding where to put it. I haven't got a shelf big enough to stack it on. So, and don't worry, guy, I will do the video for that. I don't know about you, but I grew really, really tired, really, really fast of all the April Fool's jokes on Facebook. Jason, you absolute swine. The devil's coming out on 4K uncut. Yeah, I fell for that one. I about wet myself when I saw that one. Remakes of The Big Lebowski and Close Encounters. I even believed that one until Guy came on and basically named you as the protagonist. Why it never occurred to me at the time that those 2 titles were mine and Guy's all-time favourite movies, I don't know, but for some reason it didn't click with me. But oh god, I can't wait for next April Fools to see what you got, April 1st, to see what you got planned for next year. On the subject of Jason, you put, let's see, I think for Cocaine Bear Maximum Rampage Edition. If that's on 4K, it's a definite purchase, mate, without a doubt. Very, very impressed with that film. Really, really enjoyed it. I also love that Clint Eastwood double bill that you put yourself through last week. Gran Torino was awesome. I didn't think it was going to be, but when I watched it, and from the clips I saw of it, I thought it was going to be another sort of similar to Dirty Harry, and it wasn't, and it was. I enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it. True Crime I haven't seen yet. I got it quite recently actually, but I've not had a chance to have a look at it yet, which is no surprise at all. Also loving this swapping the heads thing. I tried to find them this morning to refresh my memory of who I've been. The only one I could find, Phil Mitchell, with me losing the plot over things and getting annoyed. That was good. How on earth did we go from Phil Mitchell to Wurzel Gummidge? What the fuck, man? That's all garbage. Seriously. I can't remember what that was in connection with. I presume there must have been a reason for it, but I'm loving it, mate. I'm really loving it. And as for the poster, this shows how up to date I am. This went on about 40 minutes ago. The poster for The Exorcist. Yeah, E-double-G. And yes, I would watch a film, let's see, about a huge rabbit armed with a basket full of Easter eggs. Yes, I would watch that. You know I would. Um, let's see. Dave Oliver, Savage Zombie Reviews. Extraction 2. No clue, as I haven't seen the original, so I didn't bother watching that one. I'm sorry. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I love that Blu-ray box set. I've got the same one. I watched them very, very recently. Favourite, obviously, is Raiders of the Lost Ark. Second would have to be Temple of Doom. And I very controversially said third would be Crystal Skull. Crystal Skull. Reason being, the first time I watched it many years ago, I didn't rate it that highly. I didn't think it was that good at all. But for some reason, when I watched it a few weeks ago, whether I appreciated it more, whether I was sort of more in the mood for watching it, I don't know. But I really, really thoroughly enjoyed it. And I actually thought it was slightly better than the third one, which was the Holy Grail one. What was it called? The Last Crusade, which caused a little bit of controversialness at the time of the group. But that's just how I felt about it. I really enjoyed Crystal Skull, so I get it on that. And I'd definitely be up for you reviewing that box set, absolutely, because I'm curious to know what order you will put the movies in, as in ranked. So yeah, I'd definitely be up for you for doing a review of that box set, definitely. What else have I got here? Oh, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. It looks amazing. I watched that trailer last night, and you're absolutely right. There's something about that theme when it sort of comes in, and it just lifts your heart, and you think, oh my God, this is gonna be some ride. I'm really, really looking forward to it, and I know the guy is 80 years old, but as far as I'm concerned, he can still do it, and I will accept no substitute as far as Indiana Jones goes. So anybody that's thinking of remaking or rebooting Indiana Jones with somebody else, please don't. Let's have one franchise that's left exactly as it is. It's perfect as it is. It can't be bettered. Why bother? So no, Harrison Ford will always be Indiana Jones to me, always, and nobody else will be. So let's see, what else did you? There was another one here, wasn't there? Excuse me one second. Oh, Barbie. Oh, pretty much the same opinion as you on this one. I don't see the point of it. I've not watched the trailer, I have to admit. I will take a look and just see what I think. I know it's got one hell of a cast list, as you mentioned, but it's a movie that I can't get fired up about it. I just can't. People mention it to me, and it's like, oh, yeah, okay, whatever. So no, I'm pretty much the same as you. If it comes on streaming, I may take a look at it, but I will be going into that one with fairly low expectations. So, and Clayface in the Batman sequel. I don't know who Clayface is. I'm not the biggest Batman fan, but I'm very, very similar to you. I think you called it being all superheroed out, and I'm pretty much the same. I'm on a journey at the moment with the MCU, and it's kind of stalled like an old car, like an old banger. I'm only up as far as Thor, the original. I've got loads to get through. But it's just, I keep putting things ahead of it, and I'm hoping it's not because I've just got bored of them. It's been a couple of months since I watched the last one. I can't remember what it was now. But I've got Thor, and I've got the next one ready to go. Is it Avengers Assemble? So I pretty much feel the same as you. I can't be bothered with them at the moment. Maybe a break from them will bring the interest back. I shall see. But great videos this week, mate. I really, really enjoyed them. Steve Mack, Let's Talk Criterion. Really, really up for the Fisher King. Not so much in 4K because obviously it's a US release, but I'm very interested in the Criterion Blu-ray. I knew nothing about this movie until I watched your review. I knew Robin Williams was in it. I knew he played some kind of a homeless person. But as for the plot surrounding it, I knew nothing about it, and you've really piqued my interest in it by telling us what basically what it's about, who else is in it. So I will be trying to grab a copy of that. I think you said it's on offer at the moment, so I may just pop onto Amazon in a bit and order myself a copy of that and see what happens. Guy and Callie, cracking podcast, the Batman one. Really, really enjoyed it. Thanks, Guy, for attacking us with one of your bodily functions. Eagerly await to see which one you're going to shoot at us next. And thank you so much, Callie, for mentioning the Kardashians. One of my absolute pet hates. What a bunch of vacuous tarts. Just, pointless bunch of bints. You don't get me started on reality TV. I was unfortunate enough to have to sit through an episode of the Kardashians just once, and it was one of the most pointless pieces of television I've ever seen. I hate reality TV, full stop. I can't stand it. So channels like ITVB, which screen nothing but the Real Housewives of what the hell ever, I just will never watch ITVB. It is my biggest pet hate. So thanks ever so much for mentioning the Kardashians. But really, really enjoyed the podcast, guys. Really, really enjoyed it. Batman, my Batman, just bear with me a second. Have you seen this one, Guy? The 1949 serial. This, I think, is where it all started, I think. From the year 1949, 15 episodes. One of those cinema serials, similar in style to Flash Gordon. I've had this for years and never watched it, but I will be taking a look at this in light of that podcast of yours. And in answer to your question, my Batman will always be Adam West. This is a cracking box set. I've watched a few of these and I absolutely love them. They're just camp, colourful, just brilliant. So my Batman will always be Adam West, and obviously Burt Ward as the Boy Wonder. So yeah, that's the answer to that. But cracking podcast, guys. I look forward to seeing what you come up with next on that one. Let's see, what have I got here? Scott, loved your top 10 zombie movies video, mate. The only one I've got, the only zombie movie I own, and I'm quite ashamed of this, I should have more really, is Zombie Flesh Eaters. This is the Arrow release. I'm not the biggest fan of zombie movies. I don't mind Shaun of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead. But I tried watching Land of the Dead and couldn't get on with it. The one I am intrigued by is Train to Busan. I've never seen that, but a colleague at work recommended that to me quite a while ago. So I actually wouldn't mind a look at that. But this one, like you, I have trouble with the splinter scene. I really do. I always have done. Can't stand anything to do with eyes or anything going in them. So yeah, I really enjoyed that video, mate, but that's the only zombie movie that I own. Suggestion for you. I would love to see you do your top 5 1970s horror movies. I will try and do mine on next week's video. So I'd be very curious to find out what your favourite horror movies of the 70s are. Top 5, top 10, however many you want to do. So yeah, that's my suggestion. Let's see, let me just scroll up a bit more. There's been a bit of debate this week on who do we want as the next Bond. Apparently the bookies have slashed it down to 2, Henry Cavill and Aaron Taylor-Johnson, who I don't know from Adam. Henry Cavill, to me, looks the part. He's always looked the part. I would love to see him get it. I've not seen any of his Superman films. I have got Superman Returns queued up and ready to go at some point because somebody recommended that one to me. But just looking at the guy, he looks like he would make an absolutely brilliant Bond. So I don't know what you lot think. Aaron Taylor-Johnson, don't know him. So Gareth, you put a cracking video on this week of 10 films that killed their production studio. If you get a chance to check it out, guys, have a look. There were a few surprising entries in there. I've got, let's see, I've got 3 of those, and one of them did surprise me. This one, It's a Wonderful Life, the Frank Capra classic Christmas movie. I won't go into any of the reasons why they bankrupted the studios or sank the studios or whatever. Just have a look at Gareth's video. You'll find it fascinating, but that was a real surprising one to me. The 2 that weren't so surprising, Heaven's Gate. I invested in this one a few months ago. I've always wanted to see it. I know it's a long film, but it's got such a reputation. I needed to take a look, but I've just got to find the time to have a look at that one. And the other one I grabbed hold of, just recently, Raise the Titanic. Again, not had a chance to watch it yet, but seen the trailer and listened to parts of the score on YouTube, and it's got a beautiful score. But is it John Williams? John Barry. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having a look at that. Well, they're the only 3 on that list that I've actually got. But yeah, take a look at that video, guys. It's interesting just finding out. There's a lot of movies on there that I think you guys will probably know, and you'll think, wow, really? So yeah, take a look when you get a minute. Let's see now, Sequelophobia. Oh my god, I love this film, The Car. As I said last week, it did the rounds on a double bill with The Day of the Animals in the 70s. I've loved it ever since. I showed this off last week when I was doing sort of animal attack movies, and with this being on a double bill with Day of the Animals, I was showing this off. Gareth came on and informed me that there was a sequel. I had no idea, no clue. It came out in 2018. It's called The Car, Road to Revenge. Jason Kerr, our Ginger Ninja, you tried to warn me. Don't bother with it. I'm afraid you were absolutely right. It's got none of the charm of the original. It's set in some bleak, dark, dystopian kind of future with sort of criminal gangs in war paint and wielding chainsaws and all sorts. It's not The Car that I remember, definitely not. The only similarity to the original movie is a guy called Ronnie Cox, who was in the original but obviously didn't play the same character, as the guy would have been too old. But I daren't even go into the story of it, because it was just... I will never watch it again. I did actually find it on Amazon. I think it was on there for about £20 with about £10 to import it from Australia. I'm certainly glad I didn't do that. But no, if anybody sees The Car, Road to Revenge, avoid at all costs, especially if you love this movie. Believe me, you will not recognise it. The car looks kind of similar, but it's forget it. So, bin it or keep it. For this week is this little gem. I found this in a bin or a skip, and I thought, is it that bad? Is this where it belongs? Mark, yes, that's exactly where it belongs. That's exactly where it's going. Load of crap. That is going in the bin without a doubt. I'm not even going to go into the story of it. Roughly, it's just a woman who hunts Nazis. How Rula Lenska ever found herself in this movie, I do not know, but no, I can't say it impressed me one bit. Finally, and I'm coming up to 30 minutes, so I've got to be careful. Slender Man. I tried watching that last night. That's another bloody appalling film. I only got halfway through it. I was having messages flying through right, left and centre on on Facebook when I announced that I was watching. Dave Oliver, don't bother with this, mate, it's terrible. Jason, a man of few words, awful film. Rick, a man of even fewer words, crap. I didn't get halfway through it, guys. I fell asleep, and I don't intend on bothering to watch it again. So right, I'll do a quick Q&A before I disappear. The what am I watching from last week, I'll put that on the group, put you out of your misery, and also the answer to the Clint Eastwood question. Let's see, what have I got here? Guy, God, there's always one, isn't there? Would you like a cup of tea? Knight Rider or A-Team? You know full well I've not seen either of them. And are you ever going to listen to a podcast I recommend to you? Yes, I will. Thank you so much for that, guy. Let's see. Scott, most overrated band and most underrated band. Oh, God, am I going to get through this in 2 minutes? Let's see. Underrated. Guy, you're going to kill me for this. Partridge Family or the Wombles? Serious? Honestly, I used to love the Partridge Family and the Wombles. But if we're being serious, probably the Pretenders. I wasn't a huge fan, but somebody dragged me to a concert of theirs once, and they were absolutely brilliant. I think it's the first time I've ever got starstruck at a concert. When she walked on stage, it was like, oh my God, that's Chrissy Hind. Yeah, I know. So yeah, the Pretenders, I would say, if we're being serious. Overrated, Robbie Williams, and there's a very good reason for this. I like easy listening CDs in the car first thing in the morning. I was listening to one this week, and in amongst Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra, Julie London, Nat King Cole, they stuck Robbie bloody Williams. Desperately trying to do Dean Martin. Crap. Absolute bollocks. So overrated, I have to say Robbie Williams. And I know he's not a band, but that's it. So right, I'm going to wind it up, guys, because I'm coming up to 31 minutes and this is going to click off. Thanks ever so much for joining me. I'll be back for more of the same next week. Have a great week. If you've enjoyed the video, please thumbs up, like, subscribe and share and all that. Thanks ever so much again, and I will talk to you all again at the same time next week. Take care. Ta-da.